Okay, hello, good morning everyone, and a very, very warm welcome to the second L3Pilot webinar on business models for automated driving. My name is Anja Voister and I'm here together with my colleague Eckert Schüler-Heinz. We are both from EICT, located in Berlin, in sunny Berlin today. We are very happy to spend the next half an hour with you on the in-car service business model. We would like to share our work and our knowledge with you. And this business model presentation is 1 out of 4. We had the Robo-Taxi webinar last week, and we will have 2 more in the upcoming 2 weeks. Okay, so now I will hand over to Eckert. Welcome you, Orse.
Yes, hello. Also, a warm welcome from my side to all of you. Thank you for attending our webinar. We are very happy to have you here. And I will give you some more introductory information. Just a moment. Yes, now it works. So after this introduction from Anja, let me tell you shortly something about the webinar rules. So your webcams are switched off, your audio is also muted. I mean, you cannot talk to us, we cannot see you, but you can ask questions to us if you want. And therefore you can use the question function on the panel that you normally find on the right side of your screen. You can write down some questions during our presentation, and in the later phase of the presentation, we will then answer the questions to you. If there are many questions, perhaps we have to send to some questions the answers later via email to you. So now we will switch off our webcams too, to give you then the opportunity to use the full screen for our presentation. So our webcams are off now, and yeah, but it's not only that you can ask questions to us, we also want to ask some questions to you. And for that, we will use another tool, and this tool is called Mentimeter. Perhaps some of you already have some experiences with it. If not, it's not a problem. It's really very easy to use. The best to work with it is you take your phone, open a browser. You can also use a browser of your personal computer, but then you have to switch the screen, so it might be better to use your phone. So grab it, enter www.menti.com, and once you've done that, there is a small window opening on your screen and asks you for the code. And then you have to enter the code 390639. I repeat it, 390639. And then you can vote. And the first question we have prepared for you is, to which stakeholder group do you belong? And you see various stakeholder groups, and you see already it's working, you're answering, and you can see how the results change. So I let you a minute to answer that, to look about through the opportunities, and then you can answer it. And then we'll have a look on it. So just take your time. And what we see here at the moment is we have a mix of 4 stakeholder groups. Perhaps another later, some others will be joining us. Car manufacturer and academia as in part, let me say, small majority of consultants, and something others who didn't really find the categories for themselves. So you see how it's working, quite nice. We will use Mentimeter in the later phase again, but now we go back to our presentation. Okay, that was that. So what's today's objectives, content, expectation? So we want to share with you one of 4 business models we described in L3Pilot for stimulating the demand in automated drive. We want to get some views respective to evaluation from your side. We'll ask you some questions related to that. And very interesting also for us is we also want to raise your interest in participating in subsequent expert talks. What does that mean? You have seen probably these logo where we announce live webinars and expert interviews. What is important for us in our project, in the L3Pilot project, Anja will tell you a little bit more about the project in a minute, is we want to have some intensive discussion with experts about our business models. And therefore we said, okay, first we start with the live webinars to introduce the business models, and then we ask you as experts to, if you will be ready to participate in expert interviews. That will be most likely a setting of 2 experts and 2 of us, where we have some online discussion about it. Might be also only 1 expert, that depends a little bit on the availability. And what happens next? Anja will introduce the L3Pilot business models to you, especially, the L3Pilot project, sorry. And then we will have a deep dive into the in-car services business model. And then together with you, we'll have some first evaluation on that.
Okay, thank you, Eckert. I will take over now. So before we go into detail with the in-car service business model, let me briefly introduce you to the L3Pilot project. L3Pilot is a European flagship research project for large-scale piloting of SAE Level 3 and 4 functions, and we are testing these on public European roads. The project is funded by the European Union, and we have 34 partners in the consortium. Among them are all European OEMs. We have suppliers, we have well-known research institutes, we have also insurers, authorities, and even user group organizations on board. Besides piloting the automated driving function, we also do work on the exploration of new service concepts and business models to provide inclusive mobility to the people. And in the work package that is concerned with business models and deployment perspectives, we have developed different future business scenarios for automated driving in the year 2030. We also have studied current business models that are in the discussion right now. And we identified 4 different ones that we expect that they particularly drive the demand for automated driving. These we see as kind of archetypes. There are many different versions of these business models which can appear. And the 4 ones are the Robo-Taxi business model, the Data Plus platform business model, the Mobility as a Service business model, where we put particular focus on automated driving, of course, and the in-car service business model, which we will focus on today. We have developed these business models, we presented and evaluated these with the L3Pilot partners. And today we would like to receive your comments, your feedback, and your response on this. But before we will go into a more structured presentation of the business model, we are going to present a short scheme. Playing in a car in the year 2030, there are 2 roles in this scheme. We have the driver, which is played by Eckert, and we have the artificial intelligence, the one that is assisting the car driver. This is me. We prepared this scheme for you just to give you an impression how such an in-car service would look like. And just please enjoy for some seconds. So, hi Eckert. Now we are in a condition that I can take over driving.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, please take over driving, then I can relax.
Fine, I'm in control now. Eckert, do you want to relax, or may I offer you some interesting services?
Yeah, why not? What do you have to offer?
Let me think. Well, Eckert, it's your wife's birthday next week, right? Do you already have a present for her?
Oops, oh, no, I haven't thought about that. But I think, now think about it, a new Fender guitar, that would really be great for my.
That sounds good. Look here, in 23 minutes, we will pass a guitar shop with excellent recommendations. Here you can have a look at a selection of Fender guitars that are available there.
Wow, they have a Fender Stratocaster. That would be really the perfect gift. But is it possible to try it out?
Of course, great. I will immediately arrange a meeting there. We can park directly in front of the shop's door. Eckert, can I do anything else for you?
No, at the moment not. Thank you. I want to relax a little bit, but how about playing a little bit guitar music to warm up?
Yeah, of course. Enjoy.
Okay, the guitar music is nice, but we are not here for listening only guitar music. So let's go on with our content. And coming now from that short scene play that gives you an impression in one typical business model for in-car services, let's come to a more structured approach, to a structured representation of the business models. And I think all of you know a business model canvas. That is a template often used to describe business models, where different elements of these business models are used. We followed another approach, a more co-created approach, where the key question is which actors do have to deliver which values to create a real value for a user. So it's a user-centered and co-creation focused approach. And Anja will later show you the final version for our in-car services. Here only that gives you an impression what are the elements. So first, where you see the number 1 in the center, there is the co-created value in use. So what is the value for the user? What is the benefit the user will have? So you see that in number 2. Number 3, you will see what value does the user give to that business model, because the user also contributes to that. And then we have, beyond the user, different actors which also contribute with a value to the business model and receive a benefit. There's some kind of focal organization, mainly that's the key actor, and then our co-creating actors in that. And the core element is, if they are all necessary to deliver that service, and if one of those is missing, there will be a problem. Or if one of those doesn't see any benefit for himself, then will not contribute, and then the business model will not run. So that's the, let me say, methodological approach behind that. And now Anja will explain the in-car services business model in detail for you.
Okay, thank you, Eckert. Yeah, so now that we've learned about the base X model, I will show you how we applied this model to the in-car service business model. We will see which actors are involved in the network and what kind of contribution they provide. We will also show you which value they create for the user, and we will discuss what are the main benefits for each actor that is involved. At the end, we will shed some light on the main challenges for the implementation of these business models, which we have identified so far in the project. As Eckert already told you, the core of this model and the core of the business model is the co-created value in use. And in our case, it's the individual in-car service experience, which is supposed to make the driving time for the driver of an automated vehicle more useful. And as you already know, every actor who is involved in this business model contributes, has a special contribution to this co-created value, even the driver. And in our case, the driver provides the demand and his or her personal preferences with regard to the service he wants to consume. And of course, he is the one or she is the one who will get this individual service experience while driving an automated vehicle. The second actor or role in this model is the car manufacturer. The car manufacturer provides the automated vehicle or a car that is equipped with automated driving functions. And therefore, he is the one who provides the time slots for non-driving related activities for the customer. So what's in for the car manufacturer? It's the extra sales. So he can sell the ADFs to the customer. And he also can increase the value of the car brand by providing an innovative vehicle. The next one, the third actor, is the digital interface provider. This actor provides the intuitive access to the platform. So this is the artificial intelligence. So what's in for this actor? So he can sell his system, of course, but he may also get some user data from the customer with regard to the user's personal preferences, and maybe he also gets some data about the driving situation, the current driving situation the driver is in. The fourth player or actor in our business model is the digital service platform provider. This actor provides the access to the service offers, and this also includes a pre-selection of possible services and a proposal of selected services to the customer. What's in for the digital service provider, what's here the main benefits? So here may charge a platform service fee for providing the access to the service, and he may also get some user-related data. The next one is the actual service content provider. So this is the one who creates and provides the actual service for the customer. So he can sell his service and he will also get access to the customer. And we have two more actors in our network. We have the payment provider. The payment provider offers a trustful payment process for the customers, and he may charge a payment fee for that. And finally, we have the telecommunication provider who offers the connectivity for all activities between the involved actors in the business model. And he may charge a communication fee from all the other roles or actors involved. So now here you have a full picture of the individual in-car service business model and the experience here, with all the actors who need to contribute to this business model in order to co-create this common value. We also discussed the main challenges of this business model when it comes to the implementation. We had discussions with the L3Pilot Consortium. We had several workshops on this, and we came up with at least 3 key challenges that from our side or our view needs to be tackled. The first one refers to the relationship between the automotive players, the OEMs, and the big tech or IT players. There are, of course, already existing service platforms which are used by the customers via their smartphone. And the question here is there really a viable business model for automated players if there are already tech players in the field? We see at least two competitive advantages for the automotive players. The first one is the possibility to extend the smartphone capabilities like the small screen by providing bigger screens in the car or by even using the windows as video screens. A second competitive advantage that we see is the usage of driver and vehicle related data for providing vehicle or driving related services like fueling, charging, or even suggesting car repair centers. Coming back to this relationship, is it a competitive one or could it also be a collaborative? So we here see that there are 2 development paths. In case of the competition, that means the automotive players need to develop a competing platform and a competing ecosystem ecosystem. The issue here is really to be very fast to build up an extensive service ecosystem in order to compete with the Amazons or Google that are in place. In case of a collaborative strategy, would be also possible. The question here is, what would then be the role of the OEMs or the automotive players in this collaboration? And what would be the benefits, what would be in for them in such a collaboration? So we are very happy to hear your thoughts and get your feedback when we come to the evaluation question. But maybe we have some time for question of understanding. So Eckhart had a look at the chat, but so far there are no questions. So then I would just hand over to Eckhart, and he will continue with the evaluation questions for you.
Yeah, thank you, Anja. Okay, let's go on. It's true, at the moment there is no question from your side, at least not shown on our screen. If you sent already something and it didn't appear here, then we'll have a chance perhaps to do it in another way. We will use the time later perhaps to, if coming up some questions, but we can also concentrate on the next step we provided for you, and that's about the evaluation of the in-car services business model. We use, again, Mentimeter for that, and I think some of you entered later to our webinar, so perhaps didn't get the first Mentimeter question. For all of those, shortly how to do it. Please first is grab your phone, open a browser, enter www.menti.com, and then enter the code 390639 and vote. I'll repeat the code, it's 390639, and we still have here the question, the first question of the stakeholder group. Now we go on to the next question, and the next question, just a moment, I go into the presenters mode, then you can see it better, is related to the evaluation. So we want to ask you how much you disagree or strongly agree to the following statements. The first is the business model is definitely feasible. That means we can actually do it. Do you see it rather strongly disagree? That would be a 1, or strongly agree? That would be a 5. Second, the business model is definitely viable. We don't go broke. So there is a business model really behind it. It would work. You could earn money with that. The third, the business model is definitely desirable. People want it. It's customer are interested in it. And the last, my organization is definitely interested in participating in this business model. And you can answer so far, you are a member of a stakeholder who is might be involved in this business model. And I give you 1 minute more to take some time and answer that question. The first questions already appear. You see that on the screen, it's already moving. So let's wait just a moment so that more of you have the chance to give us an answer. So rather half of you, I think, voted. Okay, well, let's have a look on it. And during I'm explaining it and commenting it a little bit, we can you can go on doing it. So the business model is definitely feasible. Yes, there is a 3 really in the center of strongly disagree, strongly agree. So rather uncertain related to will it be feasible or not. The viability, there you are have some more reservation. It is less than the average with 2.5. So okay, should be a point where we have to think about more and discuss it. The business model is definitely desirable. People want it. That's from your point of view now the highest evaluation. And my organization is definitely interested in participating in this business model between strongly disagree and strongly agree. So yeah, also some uncertainty related to that. Or some of you do not work for relevant stakeholder groups. That could also be the point. Okay, about this question, for example, we would really like to discuss with you in the expert interviews to make a little bit clearer what's behind that, how you see that, what are influencing factors from your point of view. Then we would be really happy if some of you would be ready to discuss that in expert interviews together with us. Okay, let's go to the next question. That is an open question where we ask you to type in some text. And it's, what are, from your point of view, weak points of our business model, the in-car services business model? What improvements would you suggest? So two different questions, you could answer them. And if you type them and submit them, we will see them here in the on the screen. So you also will see what the others think about that. So that's the first question to say, okay, you said, what about the viability is not so high, so talk about that. I also let you 1 minute thinking and typing, and then let's have a common view on that. Okay, so we have two, just the third one is appearing. Rather than thinking about digital assistants in general, car-centric services should be more in focus, like driving as a service. The automotive ecosystem has a stronger USP for these services. Yes, that's interesting. So we also will show you, already have shown you, presented to you the in this webinar series, a Robo-Taxi business model. We will have a mobility as a service as the last of the series of 4. Yes, it might be that they are stronger. So that's also why we want to discuss this here with you. The ecosystem of in-car service providers may be hard to manage. Yes, it's might be, especially from my point of view, hard to create. But there are also examples. And the willingness to pay is unclear, just disappearing from the screen. Yeah, it's back. The preconditions at all will be not in place. Related to which preconditions, that would be also interesting to discuss it in detail in the talks. I would suggest looking at it more from an ecosystem perspective instead of pure business model, to highlight which actors would compete against each other, car manufacturer and platform provider. Yeah, that's what also Anja already said. That is some kind of challenge between those. Would be weak by hacking, more strong security. Driving as a service is not a robo-taxi. Driving as a service means handing over control of my vehicle for a dedicated time. Okay, thanks. So I perhaps misunderstood your point a little bit. And digital assistance in a little time resuming for drivers is a little time resuming for drivers. Yes, that might be. Thank you. Interesting points from you. We will take them and introduce them in our discussions. So just a moment. Coming back to the presentation. That have been the questions. Yes, we are already with the closing. Two things I would like to say to you. First is on the right side, you see the following webinars. So next week, a Data Plus platform live webinar. On 13th of June, a Mobility as a Service live webinar. Thank you very much for attention and participation today. And I would be really happy to have you back in the next webinars. So from my point of view, thank you very much.
Yes, also thank you very much from my side. Thank you very much for your comments, for your questions. We will get back to you via email and give you a response. So unfortunately, with this half an hour time, we do not have the time to go into detail with all questions, but yeah, we will give you feedback on that. Thank you.
Yeah, fine. So then coming to the last slide, and the last slide is our final question on Mentimeter, and it is the question: would you be interested in participating in an expert interview? We would be really happy about that, to discuss those points. And I appreciate very much your feedback in the open Mentimeter question just before. So would be really great to discuss those things with you. So if you want, please enter your name now in the Menti site you have. Give us your phone number so that we can call you, your email address so that we can send you a mail. And we would really like to arrange an interview with you, probably during the next 2 weeks, but we are there flexible if there is any vacational topic related to that. So a final thank you very much from both of us, and have a nice day, and hope we will keep in contact related to these topics with you. Thank you very much.